Bedtime stories for your cat, to comfort your friend on cold, lonely nights and to help him through his life's many crises. By James Gwynver Pearce. It was obvious from the very beginning that Slinky was going to be my cat. Not that I chose him. Rather, in true feline fashion, he chose me. By the time Slinky had settled in and made our home his home, he was already practiced at making profound eye contact with all of us, but with me in particular. His great, green, unblinking eyes would lock on mine. This was an unmistakable signal that Slinky wanted something. It was not a request, not even a demand. It was more an attitude of entitlement. Slinky merely desired that which was his by birthright, be it food, water, which he will only drink from a tap while sitting in the kitchen sink, or scratchies. As my friend grew older and became less and less self-reliant, the bond between us seemed to grow stronger. Perhaps it was my own failing health that drew us even closer. For when I was forced to spend several months during a particularly unforgiving winter as a virtual prisoner in my own home due to a particularly severe attack of Wisconsin shingles, which is an ugly recurring malady characterized by fever, aches, and spasms, our common physical shortcomings strengthened the bond between us. Slinky and I were totally alone. I was sure that the look of perpetual concern Slinky now wore was mirrored in my own grim visage. These were indeed the hardest of times, and I began whiling away the harsh winter evenings deep in discussion with Slinky. Everything was in play: sports, politics, religion, relationships, even the very meaning of life itself were all fair game and grist for our ever-grinding mill. Slinky seemed to absorb it all through those deep green orbs. My friend is always alert during our discussions. He is rarely argumentative and occasionally will nod perceptively in agreement after I have made a particularly cogent point. I began pausing and leaving gaps in my own remarks, so the long evenings became less the monologue and more the imagined dialogue. During my own pauses, I would swear Slinky was not only paying attention and understanding my remarks, but answering back as well. We began to spend hours in actual discussion, back and forth banter in which I invented for Slinky an entire romantic past. Slinky, it seemed, had lived a rich, colorful life before settling in with me. He had been a ship's cat and had sailed the 7 seas. He had been a circus performer. He had loved and lost, lived out a number of his 9 lives, and had a much more full, rich, and exciting life than I had had myself. Slinky obviously enjoyed being imbued with these romantic characteristics, and our discussions evolved into a nightly story time. There I sat, covered with the unsightly yellow and green blotches characteristic of Wisconsin shingles, like some modern-day Scheherazade, spinning my own 1,001 tales of Siamese splendor, Manxian majesty, and Tom's terrific. Though what follow are only a small sampling of the tales Slinky has inspired me to spin, they are nonetheless an example of the wondrous depth of feeling that has developed between us. On behalf of both Slinky and myself, the hope is that you and your special friend can benefit from the life's lessons, trials, joys, and tribulations that now open before you.